Have you ever felt like your emotions are controlling you instead of you controlling them? Maybe you've experienced that moment when pressure builds up and suddenly you find yourself reacting in ways you never intended. Your heart races, your mind goes blank, and before you know it, you've said something you regret or made a decision you wish you could take back. You're not alone in this struggle. Millions of people around the world feel overwhelmed by their emotions, especially when life gets tough. Most people think that stress is something that happens to them. They believe it's an enemy they can't control, a force that takes over their body and mind when life gets tough. But that's not the whole truth. Stress is actually a natural part of being human. It's been with us since the beginning of time, helping our ancestors survive dangerous situations. The problem isn't stress itself. The problem is when stress becomes overwhelming, when it stays too long, or when we don't know how to handle it. That's when stress stops being helpful and starts being harmful. It affects our health, our relationships, our work, and our happiness. If this sounds familiar, then welcome to Fluent English with Radio, where you won't just improve your English, you'll discover life-changing strategies that will transform how you handle every challenging moment. Today, we're going to explore the science behind stress and learn how to build a calm, resilient mind. We'll discover practical strategies that can help you stay composed when everything around you feels like chaos. Because here's the truth, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. So stay with me until the end, because what you learn today could change the way you handle pressure for the rest of your life. Understanding your body's response to pressure. Let me ask you something. What happens inside your body when you're stressed? Maybe you're running late for an important meeting, or you receive bad news, or you're facing a difficult conversation. Suddenly, your heart starts racing, your breathing becomes shallow, your palms get sweaty, your mind starts racing with worried thoughts. This is your body's ancient alarm system kicking into action. Scientists call it the fight or flight response, and it's been keeping humans alive for thousands of years. Here's how it works. When your brain perceives a threat, whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological, it immediately sends signals throughout your body. Your nervous system releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate increases to pump more blood to your muscles. Your breathing speeds up to get more oxygen into your system. Your muscles tense up, ready for action. All of this happens in seconds without you even thinking about it. Your body is preparing you to either fight the danger or run away from it. This response was perfect when our ancestors needed to escape from wild animals or defend themselves from physical threats. But here's the problem. In today's world, most of our stress doesn't come from life-threatening situations. It comes from work pressure, financial worries, relationship conflicts, or social anxiety. Your body can't tell the difference between a hungry lion and an angry boss. It reacts the same way to both. So, when you're stuck in traffic and running late, your body responds as if your life is in danger. When you have to give a presentation, your nervous system treats it like a physical attack. When you're worried about money, your brain activates the same emergency response that helped cave people survive. The result? You end up feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and out of control in situations that aren't actually dangerous. Your body is working against you instead of helping you. Your mind becomes clouded with fear and worry, making it harder to think clearly and make good decisions. This is why understanding stress is so important. When you know what's happening inside your body, you can start to take back control. You can learn to recognize when your fight or flight response is being triggered unnecessarily. And most importantly, you can learn techniques to calm your nervous system and clear your mind. Because the goal isn't to eliminate stress completely. That's impossible and wouldn't even be healthy. The goal is to manage stress effectively, to stay calm and focused when pressure builds, to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. When you master this skill, everything changes. You make better decisions, you communicate more effectively, you feel more confident and in control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the master of your responses. The power of a calm mind. Now let me tell you something that will change the way you see difficult situations. The most powerful tool you have in any crisis is not your strength, not your intelligence, not your resources. It's your ability to stay calm. A calm mind is like a clear lake. When the water is still, you can see all the way to the bottom. You can see the fish swimming, the rocks on the lake bed, the plants growing beneath the surface. Everything is visible and clear. But when the water is choppy and disturbed, you can't see anything. The surface reflects chaos. The waves make it impossible to understand what's beneath. The same lake, but completely different experiences depending on whether the water is calm or agitated. Your mind works exactly the same way. When your mind is calm, you can see solutions that were invisible before. You can think clearly about your options. You can make decisions based on wisdom instead of fear. You can see opportunities hidden inside problems. But when your mind is agitated by stress, anxiety, or panic, your vision becomes clouded. You can't think straight. You make decisions based on emotion instead of logic. You miss opportunities because you're too focused on the problems. This is why calm people seem to have superpowers. They don't panic when others are losing their minds. They don't make rash decisions when pressure builds. They don't get swept away by the emotions of the moment. Instead, they pause, breathe, and think. They find ways forward when others see only dead ends. Think about the most successful people you know, whether in business, sports, or any other field. What sets them apart is not just their talent or hard work. It's their ability to perform under pressure. It's their capacity to stay composed when the stakes are high. Let me give you a perfect example. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was famous for his clutch performances. In the most pressure-filled moments, when the game was on the line and millions of people were watching, he didn't choke. He didn't panic. He became even more focused. In the 1998 NBA Finals, with just seconds left on the clock and his team trailing by 1 point, Jordan had the ball. The pressure was enormous. One shot would determine the championship. The crowd was screaming. Defenders were closing in. Everything was chaos around him. But Jordan's mind was perfectly calm. He saw the court clearly. He knew exactly what to do. He made the shot that won the championship. Later, when asked about that moment, he said he felt completely relaxed. While everyone else was overwhelmed by the pressure, he was in a state of calm focus. That's the power of a calm mind. It doesn't mean you don't feel the pressure. It means you don't let the pressure control you. You feel the intensity, but you channel it into focus rather than letting it create panic. Many people think that staying calm means being passive or weak. They believe that if you're not stressed or worried, you don't care enough. But this is completely wrong. Staying calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care so much that you want to respond in the most effective way possible. When you're calm, you can access your full intelligence. You can think creatively about solutions. You can communicate clearly with others. You can take decisive action. You become more effective, not less. Panic, on the other hand, makes you stupid. When you're overwhelmed by stress, your brain's higher functions shut down. You lose access to your creativity, your problem-solving abilities, and your wisdom. You operate from the most primitive part of your brain, which can only fight, flee, or freeze. This is why emergency responders, military personnel, and medical professionals spend so much time training to stay calm under pressure. Their lives and the lives of others depend on their ability to think clearly in crisis situations. They know that panic kills, but calm saves lives. The same principle applies to your daily life. Whether you're dealing with a work crisis, a family emergency, or a personal challenge, your ability to stay calm will determine the quality of your response. It will determine whether you make the situation better or worse. So the question isn't whether you'll face pressure in life. You will. The question is whether you'll be ready for it, whether you'll have trained your mind to stay calm when chaos surrounds you, whether you'll be able to find solutions when others see only problems. This is not just about success in your career or achievements in your goals. This is about the quality of your entire life. Because when you can stay calm under pressure, you don't just perform better, you feel better, you enjoy life more, you have better relationships, you sleep better at night, you feel more confident and in control. A calm mind doesn't just help you solve problems, it prevents many problems from occurring in the first place. When you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally, you avoid creating unnecessary conflicts. When you make decisions from clarity instead of fear, you avoid many mistakes. When you communicate calmly instead of defensively, you build stronger relationships. Powerful strategies for managing stress. Now let's get practical. I'm going to share with you 4 powerful strategies that can help you build a calm, resilient mind. These aren't just theories or ideas. These are proven techniques that have helped millions of people transform their relationship with stress and pressure. Strategy 1. Master your breath. The simplest and most powerful tool you have to regain control when stress hits is your breath. I know this might sound too simple, but hear me out. Your breath is the bridge between your mind and your body. It's the one function that can be both automatic and conscious. And when you control your breath, you control your nervous system. Here's why breathing exercises work. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. This sends a signal to your brain that you're in danger, which makes your stress response even stronger. It's a vicious cycle. Shallow breathing creates more stress, which creates more shallow breathing. But you can break this cycle instantly by changing how you breathe. When you slow down your breathing and make it deeper, you send a completely different signal to your brain. You tell your nervous system that you're safe, that there's no emergency, that it's time to calm down. Let me teach you 2 breathing techniques that can change your life. The first is called deep breathing. It's simple but incredibly effective. When you feel stress building, stop what you're doing and focus on your breath. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Feel your belly expand as you fill your lungs with air. Hold that breath for a count of 2. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6, making a soft whoosh sound as the air leaves your body. Do this 5 times, focusing completely on the sensation of breathing. Notice how your body starts to relax. Notice how your mind begins to clear. This isn't magic. This is science. You're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digest response. You're telling your body that it's safe to relax. The second technique is called box breathing, and it's used by Navy SEALs, emergency responders, and professional athletes. It's called box breathing because you breathe in a square pattern with each side of the square lasting 4 counts. Here's how it works. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 4 counts. Hold empty for 4 counts. Then repeat. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Keep going for at least 2 minutes. This technique is incredibly powerful because it gives you something specific to focus on. When your mind is consumed with counting and controlling your breath, it can't simultaneously be overwhelmed by stress and worry. You're essentially hijacking your attention away from the source of stress and directing it towards something calming and controlled. The beauty of breathing exercises is that you can use them anywhere, anytime. You don't need any special equipment or perfect conditions. You can do them in your car, at your desk, before a big meeting, after a difficult conversation, or when you're lying in bed unable to sleep. But here's the key. You need to practice these techniques when you're not stressed. If you wait until you're in the middle of a crisis to try deep breathing for the first time, it won't be as effective. You need to train your nervous system to respond to these techniques. You need to build the habit when it's easy so you can rely on it when it's hard. Spend 5 minutes every morning practicing deep breathing. Do box breathing for 2 minutes before important meetings or challenging conversations. Use these techniques whenever you notice stress building, even if it's just mild anxiety about your day ahead. Over time, you'll notice that your baseline stress level decreases. You'll find that you're naturally calmer throughout the day. And when real pressure hits, you'll have a tool that can instantly help you regain control and clarity. Strategy 2. Daily mental training. Just like you need to exercise your body to keep it strong, you need to exercise your mind to keep it calm and resilient. Mental training isn't just something that monks do in monasteries. It's something that every successful person should make part of their daily routine. There are several ways to train your mind, and I want to share the most effective ones with you. First, let's talk about meditation. I know what you might be thinking. I don't have time for meditation, or I'm not the meditation type. But meditation isn't about sitting in a lotus position for hours chanting. It's simply the practice of training your attention and awareness. The simplest form of meditation is mindfulness meditation. Here's how to do it. Sit comfortably with your back straight and your eyes closed. Focus your attention on your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, which it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. That's it. It's not about stopping all thoughts or achieving some mystical state. It's about noticing when your mind wanders and gently redirecting it. This simple practice strengthens your ability to control your attention, which is the foundation of staying calm under pressure. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Set a timer and commit to sitting quietly for 5 minutes every morning. As this becomes easier, you can gradually increase the time. But consistency is more important than duration. 5 minutes every day is much better than 30 minutes once a week. The second mental training technique is visualization. This is incredibly powerful because your brain doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. When you visualize yourself handling difficult situations with calm and confidence, you're literally programming your mind for success. Here's how to practice visualization. Set aside 10 minutes in a quiet place. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a challenging situation that you might face. Maybe it's giving a presentation, having a difficult conversation, or dealing with an emergency. But instead of imagining it going badly, visualize yourself staying perfectly calm and composed. See yourself breathing deeply. Feel your body relaxed and your mind clear. Watch yourself making good decisions and communicating effectively. Imagine the positive outcome that results from your calm response. Make the visualization as detailed and realistic as possible. The more vividly you can imagine it, the more your brain will accept it as a real experience. Professional athletes use this technique all the time. They visualize themselves performing perfectly under pressure. They see themselves making the shot, scoring the goal, or crossing the finish line. And when the real moment comes, their minds and bodies are already familiar with success. The third mental training technique is reading. Reading isn't just entertainment or information gathering. It's mental exercise. When you read, especially books about personal development, psychology, or biographies of successful people, you're expanding your mental framework. You're learning new ways to think about problems and challenges. Make reading a daily habit. Even if it's just 10 pages a day, that adds up to dozens of books a year. Choose books that challenge your thinking and expose you to new ideas. Read about people who have overcome adversity. Learn about different strategies for handling pressure and stress. The fourth component of mental training is physical exercise. Your mind and body are connected. When your body is strong and healthy, your mind is more resilient. Exercise doesn't just improve your physical health, it also releases endorphins, which improve your mood. It reduces stress hormones like cortisol, and it builds mental toughness. You don't need to become a fitness fanatic. Just move your body every day. Go for a walk. Do some stretching. Try yoga or Tai Chi. Find physical activities that you enjoy and make them part of your routine. The key to mental training is consistency. It's better to do a little bit every day than to do a lot occasionally. Think of it like saving money. Small, consistent deposits add up to significant wealth over time. Small, consistent mental training sessions add up to significant resilience and calm over time. But don't expect instant results. Mental training is like physical training. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be strong. You have to be patient and persistent. But if you commit to daily mental training, you'll start to notice changes within a few weeks. You'll feel calmer throughout the day. You'll handle stress better. You'll bounce back from setbacks more quickly. Most importantly, when a real crisis hits, you'll be ready. Your mind will be trained and prepared. You'll have the mental strength to stay calm when others panic. Strategy 3. Change your perspective. One of the most powerful ways to stay calm under pressure is to change how you think about pressure itself. Most people see difficult situations as problems to be avoided or endured. But what if I told you that you could learn to see them as opportunities to grow stronger? This isn't just positive thinking or wishful thinking. This is a fundamental shift in how you perceive challenges. When you change your perspective, you change your emotional response. And when you change your emotional response, you change your ability to handle pressure effectively. Let me explain the difference between a problem mindset and a challenge mindset. When you see something as a problem, your brain focuses on what's wrong, what's missing, what might go badly. You feel overwhelmed because problems feel bigger than you are. You feel helpless because problems seem like things that happen to you, not things you can control. But when you see the same situation as a challenge, everything changes. Your brain starts looking for solutions. You feel energized rather than overwhelmed. You feel empowered rather than helpless. Challenges are things you can rise to meet. They're opportunities to prove your strength and develop new skills. This isn't just about changing words. It's about changing your entire relationship with difficulty. When you embrace challenges, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being a warrior who faces them head-on. Let me give you one of the most powerful examples of this mindset in action. Thomas Edison is famous for inventing the light bulb, but what many people don't know is that he failed over 10,000 times before he succeeded. That's not a typo. 10,000 failures. Most people would have given up after 100 failures. Many would have quit after 10. But Edison didn't see those attempts as failures. He saw them as learning experiences. He saw them as steps toward success. When a reporter asked him about his failures, Edison said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I have successfully found 10,000 ways that do not work." That's a perfect example of reframing perspective. The same events, but a completely different way of thinking about them. Edison understood that every failure was actually valuable information. Each attempt taught him something new. Each setback brought him closer to the breakthrough. He wasn't discouraged by the difficulties because he saw them as part of the process, not obstacles to the process. You can apply this same mindset to any challenge in your life. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of thinking, "This is terrible," try thinking, "This is tough, but I'm tougher." This shift in perspective has incredible power because it changes your emotional state. When you see challenges as opportunities, you feel excited rather than anxious. When you see setbacks as learning experiences, you feel curious rather than discouraged. When you see pressure as a chance to prove your strength, you feel confident rather than overwhelmed. But changing your perspective isn't always easy. Our brains are wired to focus on potential threats and problems. This was useful when our ancestors needed to survive in dangerous environments, but it's not always helpful in modern life. Here are some practical ways to retrain your brain to see challenges differently. First, practice gratitude for your challenges. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Every challenge you face is making you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Every difficulty you overcome gives you confidence to handle future difficulties. Every setback teaches you valuable lessons about yourself and the world. When you're facing a tough situation, try saying to yourself, "I'm grateful for this opportunity to grow stronger." It might feel strange at first, but over time you'll start to genuinely appreciate the growth that comes from challenges. Second, look for the hidden gifts in every setback. There's almost always something positive that comes from difficult experiences, even if you can't see it immediately. Maybe you learn something new about yourself. Maybe you develop skills you didn't know you had. Maybe you discover who your real friends are. Maybe you gain perspective on what's truly important in life. Third, remember that pressure creates diamonds. The most beautiful and valuable diamonds are created under intense pressure and heat deep in the earth. Without that pressure, they would just be ordinary carbon. The same is true for human character. The most admirable qualities like courage, resilience, and wisdom are developed through facing and overcoming challenges. When you're under pressure, remind yourself that you're not being punished. You're being forged. You're being shaped into someone stronger and better than you were before. Strategy 4. Choose your environment wisely. The people you surround yourself with have an enormous impact on your ability to stay calm under pressure. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who panic at the first sign of trouble, you'll find it harder to stay composed. But if you surround yourself with people who stay calm and solution-focused, their energy will lift you up. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they the kind of people who stay calm under pressure? Do they look for solutions when problems arise? Do they encourage you to be your best self? Or do they complain constantly, create drama, and spread negative energy wherever they go? I'm not saying you should cut off everyone who's going through a tough time. We all have struggles, and we all need support sometimes. But there's a difference between someone who's going through a temporary difficult period and someone who has a permanently negative mindset. You need to protect your mental environment the same way you protect your physical environment. You wouldn't let people dump garbage in your home. Don't let them dump mental garbage in your mind. Instead, seek out people who inspire you to be better. Look for mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve. Find friends who challenge you to grow. Join communities of people who are working on similar goals. When you surround yourself with calm, positive, solution-focused people, several things happen. First, you start to absorb their mindset. You begin to see the world through their eyes. You start to approach challenges the way they do. Second, they become resources you can turn to when you're struggling. Instead of having people who panic with you, you have people who can help you regain perspective and find solutions. Third, they hold you accountable to your best self. When you're tempted to give in to panic or negativity, they remind you of your strength and capabilities. But creating a positive environment isn't just about choosing the right people. It's also about choosing the right information diet. What you read, watch, and listen to shapes your mental state. If you constantly consume negative news, dramatic social media, and pessimistic content, you'll find it much harder to stay calm and positive. This doesn't mean you should ignore reality or avoid staying informed, but you can choose to consume information that educates and empowers you rather than frightens and overwhelms you. Finally, create physical environments that support calm and focus. Your surroundings affect your mental state more than you might realize. A cluttered, chaotic space creates a cluttered, chaotic mind. A clean, organized, peaceful space helps create a clean, organized, peaceful mind. Make your home and workspace environments that support your goals rather than distract from them. Remove clutter. Add plants or natural elements. Create spaces that feel calm and inspiring. Remember, you have control over your environment. You choose who gets access to your time and attention. You choose what information you consume. You choose how to arrange your physical spaces. These choices might seem small, but they add up to have a huge impact on your ability to stay calm and focused. When you stay calm, you win. Let me leave you with this truth. When you stay calm, you win. Not just in the big moments, but in the small ones too. When you can keep your composure during a difficult conversation, you win. When you can think clearly during a crisis, you win. When you can respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally, you win. This isn't about being perfect. You don't need to become a meditation master or eliminate all stress from your life. It's about building the skills and habits that allow you to handle pressure more effectively. It's about training your mind to be your ally instead of your enemy when challenges arise. Remember what we've learned today. Stress is a natural response that you can learn to manage. A calm mind sees solutions where others see only problems. Your breath is your most powerful tool for regaining control. Daily mental training builds resilience over time. Changing your perspective transforms challenges into opportunities, and choosing the right environment supports your growth and success. The science is clear, the strategies are proven. The only question is whether you'll commit to putting them into practice. Whether you'll dedicate time each day to building mental strength. Whether you'll choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow. Life will continue to test you. Pressure will continue to build. Unexpected challenges will continue to arise. But now you have the tools to handle them differently. You have the knowledge to stay calm when chaos surrounds you. You have the power to respond instead of react. But knowledge without action is worthless. You have to practice these techniques. You have to build these habits. You have to train your mind consistently and persistently. Start today. Start with just 5 minutes of deep breathing. Start with a short meditation. Start by reframing one challenge in your life as an opportunity. Start by removing one source of negativity from your environment. Small steps lead to big changes. Every moment you choose calm over chaos, you're building strength. Every time you breathe deeply instead of panicking, you're training resilience. Every day you practice mental training, you're preparing for future challenges. The path to mastering pressure isn't easy, but it's simple. It requires commitment, but not perfection. It takes time, but it works. And when you develop the ability to stay calm under pressure, you don't just improve your performance. You improve your entire life. You sleep better. You enjoy relationships more. You feel more confident. You make better decisions. You create less drama and solve more problems. This is the power of a calm mind. This is the gift you give yourself when you commit to training your mental resilience. This is how you transform from someone who survives pressure to someone who thrives under it. Think about the person you want to become. Picture yourself 6 months from now having practiced these techniques consistently. Imagine walking into stressful situations with complete confidence. See yourself handling difficult conversations with grace and wisdom. Envision staying perfectly calm when others around you are losing control. That version of yourself isn't just a dream, it's completely achievable. So remember, when the storm comes, and it will come, you don't have to be swept away by it. You can stay calm. Take a deep breath, stand tall, stay calm, and remember, when you master your mind, you master your life. Remember, Every word you learn here brings you closer to your goals, and every lesson you apply makes you stronger. Thank you for choosing to grow with Fluent English with Radio. Your support means everything to me, and it helps us reach more people who are ready to transform their lives. Until next time, keep practicing, keep growing, and never give up on becoming the best version of yourself. Your calm, confident future starts now.